Well, let's bring you right up to date with some of the other developments from around the region. Here's Nick Beek.
The Israeli city of Ashkelon has been hit by a stream of rockets overnight. Many were intercepted mid-flight by air defences. They'd been fired from inside Gaza, a few miles to the south. Nearby, Israeli forces have been seizing back control and moving into communities that Hamas had attacked. This is Kfar Aza, where soldiers say they've uncovered atrocities, including the murder of mothers and their children.
They have just jihad machine to kill everybody, without weapons, without nothing, just normal citizens that want to take their breakfast, and that's all. And they kill them. It's an aggressive thing to see. It's very difficult to see it. But we must remember who is the enemy and what our mission. Our mission is the justice. We're in the right side, and all the world needs to be behind us.
Israel says those who did this will pay the heaviest price. And this is their latest response. The bombardment of Gaza continues. Israeli strikes hitting Palestinian communities. Israel's military released this footage showing its operations. It says it's targeting Hamas fighters. Hundreds of civilians have been killed. The airstrikes have caused huge damage to homes and shops.
I lost everything. My house, my shop has been destroyed completely. Where do we go? We have become homeless.
The Israelis say Hamas has brought this upon Gaza. Israel is accused of breaking international law. Supplies of food, power and water into Gaza have been cut off. Just to the north, across the wire, Israeli troops are arriving in ever greater numbers. Senior commanders warning the next stage of their response will build up to a ground operation into Gaza.
We started the offensive from the air. Later on, we will also come from the ground. We've been controlling the area since day 2 and we are on the offensive. It will only intensify.
The resistance the Israeli troops will encounter is likely to be fierce. Hamas will be preparing to meet in advance. The prospect is of even more bloodshed in this part of the Middle East.
Nick Beek there. Let's take you live to Jerusalem. We can speak to our Middle East correspondent Yolande Nell, who is there. Yolande, as the death toll continues to go up and the stories that people are having to listen to, the pictures that they're having to digest, the kind of collective shock and trauma that people are feeling in Israel, I wonder how united or indeed divided people are about the Israeli response now.
I mean, we're seeing a lot of Israelis coming round to the idea that there is going to be a continuing big operation going into Gaza. Really, Israel is still reeling from what's happened. It's the 75 years of the country this year. This is the deadliest attack that the country has ever seen. And it really caught people by surprise at a time when they were just at the end of the Jewish high holidays. And now, if you watch Israeli TV screens, it's full of images of body bags. We've seen a lot of bodies being taken out of Sderot, where there was fierce fighting between Hamas fighters who were inside a police station, had taken that over, and Israeli security forces. There are, of course, very moving accounts given by relatives of those who are still missing, with about 150 people thought to have been taken hostage and being held now inside the Gaza Strip. In Israel, you know, most people still do serve in the military. And so people have a lot of strong support for the military when there is a time of crisis, despite all of the political division that we've seen in the country in the past year with the current hardline government that's taken over. You feel that people are coming together again, united in their grief and in their desire for action, some kind of decisive action that people are calling for against Hamas.
And what are they hearing from Benjamin Netanyahu, from the Prime Minister? What kind of rhetoric is he using, Yolande?
I mean, extremely strong rhetoric from the Prime Minister, promising that Hamas will pay the price for what's happened, saying that the government is resolute. He has also, compared this to what happened in the Holocaust. It's something that resonates very deeply, this kind of language, of course, with people in Israel. And I did have, Israelis who had been caught up in the violence saying similar things to me. At the moment, as I say, everyone is still really caught up in the shock, but there is this united idea that some kind of strong action needs to happen now. But people know as well from past experience that this will be, that Israel too will pay a great price for what is about to happen. And we've had, Israeli military officials saying to us, this is not like previous wars. This is actually the fifth war, of course, in 15 years since Hamas took over the Gaza Strip. This is going to be, it already is, on a scale that's never been seen before.
Yolan, we're going to take our viewers live to Gaza very shortly, but can you update us on what is happening in southern Lebanon and on the border there?
Yes, this is another very worrying development. So we have had Hezbollah firing a couple more missiles across from southern Lebanon. Hezbollah, of course, the powerful militant group in Lebanon that has a huge arsenal of rockets if it decided, this Iran-backed group, to get more involved in the conflict. Israel has been responding to that with shelling. In recent days, we've also seen, on a very small scale so far, militant groups in Syria, again neighbouring Israel, wanting to get involved, firing missiles towards Israel. And the real problem for Israel is that this could develop into a multi-front war. And of course, in the occupied West Bank, we've also got tensions running extremely high. So the Israeli military is having to be on alert in all of those different areas, and it's something that's causing a lot of international concern, this idea that there could be this wider regional conflagration.